And good morning, everybody. Welcome to another ThreeStrands Talks live stream. I'm your host, Matthew, also known as Mr. Three Strands, pretty much anywhere else. I'm really glad you're here today, and I know we've only got, hey, Carlin, how you doing, bud? Off the top of my head, I don't have the schedule yet, but I'll look it up sometime here in the next little bit. Um, this day is going to be kind of fun. We're going to talk about Norwegian Cruise Lines, and I've got a very special guest joining me today. So let's just welcome him in. Milt Kilgore, also known as Mark's Music Obsession. Good morning, Mark. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah. Everybody bear with me. This is the first live I've done. So,
well, if it goes well, it may not be your last.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. I hope it goes okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Let's get some good mornings out of the way. Morning, Jetty. Welcome in. Glad you're here. Trisha set sail. Good morning.
Trisha, hey.
I know you have late nights and early mornings sometimes, but hey, welcome in. And more to me. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Thanks. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, if you guys want to help out, I'm going to go ahead and push this out here real quick. I do have a Patreon channel, and I want to keep things going. So if you are up for a little support here and there, it's just $3 a month. And anything taken in from that will strictly be used for this channel, whether it's equipment update or basically just keeping my subscriptions alive for all the things I need to do this with, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Yep, I'm finding that out too. I barely have enough to do this right now, but I'm working on it. So
I heard that. Yeah, I kind of stretched our finances a little bit, but things are starting to, football season's coming, so I got some overtime coming. Right. Malibu, welcome in, buddy.
Malibu, hey,
glad you're here, man. So,
well, some kind people on some of the other channels that I frequent and sub to have been really good about, putting it out there that we were going to do this today. And I told everybody, said, I hope it's not a train wreck on my end, but it should.
Well, go. I'll try to do my part as the conductor. How's that?
All right. That sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
So do us a favor, Mark. A lot of people coming in here are going to be cruise fans.
Yeah.
And you brought this up to me a few weeks ago about talking about NCL. So let's start with just introduce yourself a little bit. Tell everybody how you got into cruising, and then what pulled you to NCL.
Well, I started cruising. First one was 2006-07, somewhere around there. Did a bunch of cruising, had to take a time off away from it for a while for other reasons, and got back into it again recently. I've got one scheduled, as you know, on September the 6th on the Prima, which is an NCL ship, of course. That will either be, and I have to count it again, either my 19th or 20th. I've got 140 odd, 50 days. And the whole thing with NCL, and I've done NCL, I've done Royal, I've done Princess, I've done Carnival, Holland America. I've done lots of the lines. And so this is how we would just kick this off in the introduction. What I would say to everybody right out of the gate is, know what you want from your cruise. And if you know what you want, do you want relaxation? Do you want parties? Do you want the entertainment? What's your priorities? And then from that, pick the appropriate ship. You don't have to be specifically loyal to a cruise line. I'm not, as you know, I've done all those other ones. But the reason I've landed on NCL, the factors are several. And Michelle, who is going with me now a lot, seems to really love it too, is because of the flexibility they offer, not only in the free at sea, packages, which we'll get into, and anytime dining is a big deal. So that way, if you do excursions and different things, you don't have to, I got to get back so I can get cleaned up so I can go to dinner at early seating or late seating or what have you.
Right.
The flexibility of their programs is what makes it where I've had more days on their ships than anybody else. You got some photos and stuff we're going to look at. The fleet is the newest fleet overall. If you count the remodels, ship to ship, it's the newest fleet. And they just like all the other major lines, have new ships coming every year. They've had a new one for the last 3 or 4 years. They've got new ones coming up, just like Royal and MSC and the other lines. But that goes back to the ships. You go and you look, and that's part of the fun. You go and you look, you get on the website, you pick one of the ships. It's all about how many passenger capacity you want. Some people like the mega ships. Some people don't like the mega ships.
Right.
Look at what amenities are on board. Do you want a lot of stuff, like I said, for children, or are you trying to avoid that? They've got lots of options and porting options, and just like the other lines. That I can't stress enough how important it is, though, to know the ship that you're on based on what your needs are. Getting into the NCL topic as a whole, of kind of why it's also their pricing tiers. And I want to dispel something that's been out there immediately, which is this notion of that, well, they're one of the ones that nickels and dimes you to death. Well, that's just not the case. What they do is, and I'm just going to pick like them, let's say Royal and say MSC, or some of the ones that are actually the close competitors, not the bargain lines and not the premium lines.
Right.
Their base fare on a very typical similar cruise, the standard Westerns, the standard Easterns, whatever, is always quite a bit lower, which is kind of why I shifted off of Royal to it's one of the reasons it's lower to start with. But what they do is they basically offer what I would call more of an a la carte service. So you pay less for the base fare, and then you add back in, and we're going to go over these packages, the different free at sea things and stuff like that. That way, if you're somebody like us, which we're not drinkers,
right,
then why do you want to pay for the drink package if you don't need to, or a bulk package that has all these different things, none of which you're going to use besides maybe one or two. So they start that free at sea program, and it's really good for people who don't want the alcohol package. Let's just say right off the bat, and you're going on vacation to get away from what we're doing here, and you say, well, I want to be able to check some email or maybe check in with somebody that's babysitting my pup or whatever, but don't leave not a lot of entertainment, a lot of Wi-Fi time.
Yeah.
Their base, the base free at sea package that anybody can add on is 60 on a 7-day cruise. It's $60 per person, and with that $60 per person, you get 3 specialty restaurants, 150 minutes of Wi-Fi. There's several perks you can look on the site, and it goes over all that stuff. But just the 150 minutes of Wi-Fi and the 3 premium meals, which basically what you're doing is just paying the gratuities on those, and the meals are free. So somebody that just wants to have the premium dining experience for the specialty restaurants and a base of Wi-Fi so they can check their emails and communicate, but not any more than that. See, that's super cheap. And if you take an already starting fare on those competitive lines that's less, plus that, you're still way under. You're still way under the other lines. And when you get into those photos that we were talking about for the free at sea packages, you can go to the first free at sea package if you do want the alcohol. That gives you the unlimited open bar. It still gives you those specialty dining credits, and they're based on sailing length. That's why you get 3 on a 7.
Okay.
You get a Wi-Fi package with a limitation as far as the speed. If you want to go, so let's talk about the pricing, and you do have a slide for that. So when you start talking about the competition, that's what aggravates me when I hear people say the nickel and diming thing.
Yeah.
The free at sea package that does include the alcohol and the Wi-Fi and the specialty dining that we were talking about, it's $28.50 a day. Yeah, that's the perfect slide. Thank you so much. It's $28.50 a day. And it not only has the alcohol, it has several other things. Those competitor pricings that you're looking at down there, a lot of those, and those are some of the big ones. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say who they are. We're not here to do that. I don't want to. Like I said, I love all of them for different things. But those are just the drink packages alone, a la carte for most of those lines. And you can see how much price difference there is just in that alone. When you go to the free at sea plus package, which is an extra $49.99 a day. So you're talking about 50, what is that? 7850. Okay, so let's stay on that slide you're on. If you go to the Free at Sea Plus package for 7850 versus that 70, 81, and 83, they're just for their drink package. With the Free at Sea Plus package, you get unlimited high-speed Wi-Fi, bottled water, energy drinks, the Starbucks package, all. And here's the big one of the big ones: those daily prepaid gratuities that we all pay. It includes that in the Free at Sea Plus package. And you get your specialty dining still included in that as well. And then if you want to do more than, say, the 3, you get 50% off any additional specialty dinings you do. So basically, for just a couple of bucks more than what any of those competitive lines are, just for their alcohol package alone, you get everything, including your prepaid gratuities. And I can promise you, on most of the sailings I've looked at in the last couple of years, I can take that 7850 and have the Free at Sea Plus with everything, and plus what their fare is for, comparable inside, ocean view, balcony, what have you. And the price will still be about the same, even with the Free at Sea Plus added, as the other cruise lines are, just for the base fare on the similar cruise.
That does sound like an amazing value for what you're spending. And as someone who has helped people plan trips along the way, I try to get people to not just look at the price, but to also look at what they're getting for what they're spending. Because if you can prove to them the value is there,
right,
a lot of the times they'll go with it, because for lack of a better term, it still puts more in their pocket.
Absolutely. And like I said, we don't drink, but we do enjoy the Starbucks coffees or whatever specialty thing they have. Like with Chase, let's say, if you're out there, Chase, hey, Chase, the monsters and what have you, you can get those. You got your bottled water that you can use to take with you, when you go on your excursions and what have you. We obviously love the specialty dining. Right. So, and the high-speed Wi-Fi at that point, because you're going to pay those gratuities anyway. So if you just take that off the price of that, then that drops it down even lower than those competitor prices just for their drink packages. So
right.
Use the coffee. We have to do the prepaid gratuities. Then we get the Wi-Fi, we get the bottled water, we get the energy drinks, the juice drinks, the coffee. And so we use that without using the alcohol. But, I can promise you, like I said, if you take any one of those other lines and anybody wants to have a couple of drinks, just the drink package or just the Wi-Fi package on the other lines alone pays for the Free at Sea Plus package on NCL.
Right. Well, and see, I only have 2 ships that I can compare with right now. The one I was on last year and the one I'm going on in November.
Right.
Last year I was on a Virgin Voyages cruise ship, and before they went and changed their pricing structure to look like everybody else's, my soft drinks, juices, waters, all that was included
right.
in my fare. So, and I also had basic Wi-Fi, which was good enough to get email. I could actually call home on that because I had Wi-Fi calling availability. I was able to do some basic stuff on there. I could look at Facebook. I couldn't post very easily, especially if I had a picture or something. But, so that's all. And then with the seashore coming up, I had to buy packages for soft drinks for my wife and I because, like you, we don't drink alcohol. So getting a drinks package made 0 sense.
Right. And it's just, like I said, it's layered. It's not a nickel and dime situation at all. It's just, it allows the customer to pick what they want to utilize. And the pricing is just crazy when you go, like I said, even if you don't use that, when you go to that level, it's worry-free. You got everything. You get other perks too. There's other stuff that's not listed in that graphic that come along with every one of those levels, but you can easily go on the website and check.
Right.
Their private island is amazing, and I've liked all of those. I'll give everybody that. I've liked all those. They all have their differences.
Right.
But same kind of thing for the upcharges. That's another like direct royal experience that I've had. The upcharge on this cruise that we're getting ready to do on Prima in September, on the private island, we got a cabana for the day. That's in the adults only section or whatever, and it's really nice. And I ended up getting that for like $99, and you can't touch that on any of the other, like I said, same tier kind of cruise lines.
Right.
Way more expensive than that, and that wasn't because of my loyalty points and what have you. It's just they're extras like that. It's tend to be, like I said, across the board, just like the fares, base fares, a little bit cheaper, but without anything. I just
Plum Crazy had a question here. Maybe you can take a look at it and
okay. Who is
give
it?
her a good answer.
Can you put it up? I'll see it.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you're delayed a little bit on that. It says,
Right.
can you do NCL sailings without specialty dining comfortably, or do you get bored with the main dining?
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. And there again, you're looking at the ships for the different dining options that are on board. I mean, Prima's got ridiculous amounts of choices, and I've never been dissatisfied with the main dining room experience on any of the ships anyway, because the food's always been good. There's never been any issues. No, I don't. And with the not just like the buffet things, but they have the local places where you go and you get your sandwiches and whatever, just like everybody else. Everybody knows. But no, absolutely not. You don't have to have any premium dining experiences at all to enjoy their sailings at all. Not at all.
Okay.
So.
Well, what I wanted to do a little bit was just kind of touch on the different classes of ship that NCL offers.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with the Sun class. Seems to be the oldest one out there right now. The two ships out are Norwegian Sky and Norwegian Sun. They were both refurbished just in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you been on either of these?
I have not been on the Sun. So let me look at I'm looking at the picture here, and I'll just kind of quickly name off a bunch of the ones that I've been on that are on that overall graphic. Let's see. The Star, the Dawn. So let's talk about the Dawn for a second.
Okay.
The Dawn is in the class size as far as the passenger capacity of ship that I actually prefer. The Dawn is, without me going back and looking at the numbers, is one that's probably about like a 2,400 at regular capacity type ship. Back when I first started cruising, 6, 7, 8 to 10, those kind of years, those were the premier type ships. I like the new ships. We were just on the Escape a couple of months ago with a couple other viewers that are on, like with Chase and whatever every day. One of which Heatherly, however she said.
Heatherly.
She was actually on that cruise with us, and I didn't know it. We hadn't even met that time.
Oh, okay.
So let me see. The Star, the Dawn, the Jewel I've been on, the Pearl, the Escape. Let's see. Something in the Breakaway class, but I don't remember which one. I'd have to go back. I got a case of the olds. I'd have to go back and look.
That's fine.
At the receipts or what have you. And the same thing with Royal. When I started way back when now versus those gigantic 7,000 passenger ships now. I like the class on Royal where you would be talking about it's about like the Navigator, around maybe the next size up from Navigator.
Yeah.
You get bigger than that, that's just not my gig. It's just not my scene.
I hear you.
So, but that's why I said in the beginning, know what you want is the most important thing in my opinion. Know what you want out of your cruise, and then pick the ship accordingly. Don't be loyal to brand. Just pick the ship accordingly to your needs base first, and you'll be the happiest.
Yeah, I agree. And, as I used to be a travel agent, and I used to help people. I'm thinking about getting back into it. I haven't really decided yet. If I do, I'll probably specialize in cruises, which is another reason why I want to start doing a couple a year.
Right.
But in the overall picture of things, I think cruising in general is probably your best value out there because it's the closest thing we have right now to truly all-inclusive vacations, short of spending a lot of money on those huge all-inclusive
Yeah,
resorts,
yeah,
in
yeah,
Mexico and on the islands and what
yeah,
have you.
yeah. And
So,
I've done just as much I've done a lot more traveling actually, not on cruises than I have on cruises, even with the number of cruises that I've done. But there's no question you're exactly right on point. The value, just we were talking about pre-show, it's unparalleled. Unparalleled. You can't touch it for anything like European tours, Southern Pacific tours, or whatever. It's so expensive
right,
to go to those places for the accommodations and the food and whatever. There's just no way the value of a cruise can be beat for those types of trips. It's just not possible.
right. So we got
I'm looking at
more
some.
to me says that we cruised on Pride of America around Hawaii and loved it.
Oh yeah.
That one is on my bucket list, but I haven't dared to look at the prices for that
Well,
because isn't, if I'm thinking correctly, isn't that ship actually flagged U.S.?
it is, and it's the only one out of all the major fleets that is. So here's some of the differences with that, and I haven't done it yet. Been to Hawaii a few times, had relatives that live there and traveled there even from the time I was a kid. But yes, it is. It's flagged U.S. And so one of the things that makes it kind of quirky that I would want to tell people that I know we got a lot of guys that we talk to, on the different channels that like to gamble. That ship does not have a casino because you never leave the American waters.
Right,
So you can't gamble. But that being said, the space that's normally occupied on the ship for the casino now has other things for you to have and enjoy and use. But you're right, it is definitely more expensive on the base, but you got to remember why that is. You don't have to have a passport. You don't have to have any kind of, you're not traveling outside of the United States. The security aspect for days like we're having today is a big deal
uh-huh,
for people. Then all that goes away. So yes, on the base, because of those things, it is pricier. That's it's not that it's been cost prohibitive. I just haven't gotten around to trying to plan. We've been talking about it to plan on doing it yet. I think it would be tremendous. But yes, it definitely is. I'd say just at a guess from the last time I looked at some of the fares, like us going on Escape from New Orleans, the one she was on with us,
yeah,
for one of those traditional westerns. If you look at that Pride of America thing is probably 50% more for the 7 days, 50% more than those are because of that.
right,
But it would be an amazing cruise to get to go to those different islands and have that security and the different, from what I understand, the vibe on it, and talk to an NCL rep about it, it's completely different because of that setup. So, uh, yeah, I think it'll be fun. If I go on it, I will film it. Uh, I'm trying to lean in here. Yeah, Escape. See, I was just on the Escape, that breakaway plus class. The Escape is a bigger capacity. Like I said, it's, that the Escape is around, I think it's 4,000 or just over 4,000. But I
okay,
can tell you, it didn't have the feel of that at all.
yeah,
To me, it didn't feel like that at all. And of course, there was time that kids could be on the ship. I think percentage wise, it wasn't a lot. But I really like that ship. I was impressed with something that's in the newer classes like that has all those, with the larger water parks and all the special things. Michelle had a blast on it. They have a ropes course with a zip line that goes out over the side of the ship.
uh-huh,
That stuff up on, and she enjoyed all that stuff. So even in our age group, like you said, you're 60 odd. I'm 57, be 58 in December. Michelle's 64. It's not just for the stuff they have on the activity stuff. It's not just for little kids. We enjoyed it.
yeah, and that's the thing. Um, we're supposed to enjoy,
Absolutely.
and I just really Virgin Voyages might not have been the best first choice for a cruise in over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I got spoiled on that cruise because that's kind of the way they roll.
Right.
But I'm still looking forward to other cruises because I want to experience what the everyday common person would experience because that's pretty much where I'm at.
Right.
I have a feeling you and I are a lot alike. I
Well,
work hard for the money I have.
mm,
In order to make these cruises work, I got to plan enough overtime every week to help pay for them, which isn't always easy with what I do, because we now have 100 plus bus drivers in my department, and overtime is done on a rotational basis. So even though I'm higher up on the seniority list,
mhm.
I could get bumped by somebody lower than me just because they fall in the rotation first.
Right, right.
So, but
Well,
I want to make sure I'm getting what I'm paying for and
right,
and maybe a little extra along the way.
right. And I'm like you. I wish that, well, I do and I don't, because it goes back to the NCL model. If I've said it before, I wish every cruise line would just do away with all those different things, and everything would just truly be an all-inclusive like it was in the really, really early days of cruising. You just paid for the fare and you didn't have to worry about any of that.
Right.
But um, the disadvantage of that would be it'd be convenient. The price would definitely go up. I don't think they should do the gratuity separate as a pricing model. I liked it better when it was just built into the fare.
Right.
Take confusion away for people. But if they did do the all-inclusive thing like Virgin's original model was across all the lines, what it would do then at that point is it would have us paying like me and you paying for that alcohol
Right.
you don't consume. And another thing for the people out there that do enjoy that bar thing, and I know there's lots of them. And hey, don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against it at all. It's just never been my thing.
Right.
But you go to that free at sea plus tier, which is basically, like I said, just a couple of bucks more than the base on anybody else's just alcohol package, and you get all that stuff. That also bumps you up to the top shelf stuff. So the free at sea plus bar stuff is you get top shelf spirits and 50% reductions in cost for like bottling and stuff like that.
Right.
It so you can say you see that's good on you. Perfect time. You got that graphic up. And it shows some different examples at the standard free at sea drink package for the 28.50 per day versus the free at sea plus. But I can tell you right now, if you're somebody that wants just the Wi-Fi at any level, even if it's not the high speed, and any sort of drink package, you have already paid and then some to get the free C Plus package. Somebody, Jeremy and Cheryl over on their channel, I was watching them yesterday, and I appreciate the shout outs they've been doing for like this broadcast for us. They're going on an NCL cruise pretty soon. They've already paid their gratuities and they've already paid for the high speed Wi-Fi. And I was like in the chat going, hey guys, just get the free at C plus, because paying for those two things, you've already paid for it.
Right.
And then you'll get your unlimited high speed anyway, and your gratuities, and you'll get the coffee and the bottled water and all the energy drinks and fruit juices and top shelf everything for no extra cost. I don't think there's anybody out there that can touch that price model. The value for that package for people who want that stuff is just can't be touched. It's truly a premium level experience like you would get on some of the other ships, but without paying that price.
Okay. You've been on several of these ships, so I'm going to ask a difficult question.
Okay.
Which one's your favorite?
Well, I can just about guarantee you, and this is funny, that the Prima that I'm getting ready to do is going to be my favorite, and I haven't even been on it yet because I haven't experienced the Prima class or the new Prima Plus class that they've got with the two newest ships last year and this year yet. But the model, that's what I was saying about going and looking at what the ship has for the amenities and the dining choices and the lounging areas and the comfort spots, which is what's important to us. And that model is just crazy. The dining options and the comfort is just crazy. So out of the ones that I've been on thus far, and this is reaching back in years, and the fleet is the Dawn. And there's just specific reasons, special areas, special spot as far as a pool area, just certain things that made it special. But I have no doubt without even having been on it yet, that the Prima's going to blow all that stuff out. So we're already looking forward to what we another cost savings. Now that does come into what would be considered a brand loyalty. But what we're planning on doing again, and we've done this last time, we booked the Prima when we were on the Escape, is we like to go to the future cruise desks, look at what they've got to offer for, have an idea of what you want there again when you walk up and say, hey, we're kind of interested in doing this itinerary or this time of the year. What do you have? And you can get big savings. Future cruise consultants are wanting to make that deal while you're standing there and get you booked. So they'll cut the prices and they'll throw in extras, like they threw in the base free at C Plus with the 3 premium meals and the 150 minutes and all that stuff at no cost. And we got priority embarkation and priority debarkation and lots of stuff for free. And a balcony class upgrade for free while we were standing there. And we also do have something that people can purchase where they basically double your money, and sometimes you can get more. The Future Cruise Credits program that they do. For the money you spend, they match it, so you get double your money.
Yeah.
And so they'll have special cruises, and you can always ask about those while you're on, or call a travel agent and they can look at the current list, which changes literally daily. Cruises, you can use 2 Future Cruise Credits or 3, so you can triple up, because each credit is worth $250. So if you can find one while you're standing there at the Future Cruise desk, like we did for Prima, and say, this is the one we want, and it happened to be on a double up program, then now with them standing there actively cutting your costs because they want you to do that booking and being able to use those credits, we saved a bundle. We saved a bundle on it and got a bunch of extra perks for free. So I do utilize an agent with them, and I do have a travel agent that was recommended by one of the channels that I frequent. That if I need that assistance, I'll go to them.
Right.
But and I'm sure there's similar programs on some of the other lines. I know when I was doing Royal quite a bit, they had something similar, but I don't remember if they matched the money as well. I couldn't speak to it without going back and revisiting it. Like I said, it's not just brand loyalty. I would much rather see somebody take the time to do the research on what it is on the ship that they're looking for with their dining options, etc. It's not just brand loyalty. It just happens right now.
Something that would work for me or work for you might not work for somebody else, depending on what their needs are.
Right. And I love Princess as well. Princess for people in our age group or a little bit younger, even if it's, during season, as we say, they just don't tend to have as many children. The food overall, like any standard dining room or whatever venue, seems to be a step above, without going to like Celebrity or some of those other, step above some of the other lines in the food in the main dining halls and regular eateries. They're real comfortable. They have really nice indoor, like undercover glass adult pool areas, so that you've got climate control while your pool experience. So like I said, it's not just brand loyalty, it's picking the right ship and for what you're wanting out of that particular cruise.
Yeah. So do you have any favorite ports to visit?
Ooh, now you're getting back to our discussion. So if you're talking about tropical, or if you're talking about like European or whatever, well, obviously there's vast differences. 2 or 3 immediately pop into my head as far as the Caribbean type places. I love Curacao, and down in the ABCs with Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. Curacao is a good vibe for me. It matches me well once you get out of Willemstad, which is the city there at the port, which is the capital. I love Barbados a lot. The people in Barbados are great, friendly. There's some local spots that I've discovered over the years in Barbados where I can go and hang out, and it's amazing. And then the third one that immediately comes in is St. Lucia. Love St. Lucia. Lots of stuff to do in St. Lucia. If you're a person that likes to hike or walk or whatever, if you have the physical ability to do that and you like doing it, great stuff to do there. But they also have really neat like boat tours. One of the things we did is I took a niece and a nephew of mine some years back, and this was probably 2010-ish. And they had the Black Pearl from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies there. And you could take an excursion that took you from mainland St. Lucia to Pigeon Island. And so what they did is on the excursion, when you're sailing on the Pearl, so you're on the Pearl, and you're heading toward Pigeon Island, there's an old gun embankment up on top of what would be the hill on Pigeon Island. They fire a cannon at the ship, and then the Pearl fires back, and then they surrender, and you get into the dinghy and go ashore, and then they have a treasure hunt. Really fun. They give everybody a treasure map, and the first person to find the treasure gets a prize. I mean, so St. Lucia's real special for, and there's some, you were talking about the pricing differences. There's some really nice all-inclusive resorts at those places, at all those places, but you're not touching that cost-wise versus just going to them on a cruise for a day. It's just, you just can't do it. Way more expensive. European, ooh, even tougher. I would strongly recommend anybody, more like we were talking about before the show, if you have an interest in going to see in the Scandinavian countries or England or those places, they have a lot of itineraries on different lines, but I did do an NCL one on that one as luck would have it, called the Baltic Capitals.
Uh-huh.
And man, this was the longest one I've done too. It was a 12-night, no at sea days, just stop after stop after stop. It was Denmark and Sweden and Finland, Russia and Poland, Estonia, Germany. You leave from Dover with the white cliffs. Just an amazing trip, and that's the perfect value, like we were talking about. That trip was less than $100 a day, and for them to put you up and take you to all those exotic places and feed us and entertain us and all for that kind of money is just crazy. It's a great value.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm really looking forward to the group cruise that we've got coming up. I wish, I don't know. MSC sounds like it's going to be a really different animal. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking forward to next week because we're going to get a little more information on the actual ship. But I've watched the arrival of the newest NCL ships into Miami. Mm-hmm. And I look at them now, they don't hold as many people as World America or Icon. But when you look at those three ships lined up together at the port, you're like, she's still a massive ship.
Mm-hmm. If we were closer, Port Canaveral, we're doing it for the Prima. It's about a 6.5 hour, maybe 6 hour and 45-minute drive for us. And we're going to be split up. We're going to stop, do some other Florida things on the way. If we were closer, so it wasn't that much of a commitment in cost and time, and it's hard on us driving that long now.
Sure.
We would do that, but I've never done, like I said, this one's going to be ready to be 19 or 20 on Prima, the cruises that I've done. I've never done anything shorter than a week. Now, that being said, if I was in South Florida again, where I could be, an hour, a couple hours from the port, and I do have a standing request in with my NCL guys saying, hey, when they get these last minute things and they need to fill those cabins, if you can call us and give us one of these really killer prices, we'll take it. Now, we did say, well, we want New Orleans, or we want Mobile, or we want Jacksonville.
Right.
So really short driving window from where our location here in Northwest Florida is. But yeah, if I were down there, then yeah, those shorter cruises. I don't know about the 3-day ones. They've got too much of a reputation of being a little crazy.
And I think that's no matter what cruise line, anything that goes 3 days are like it's totally a party time.
Yeah. So, but I would do the 4 and 5s if we were, if it was more convenient. And I really wish we could do that group cruise with everybody. But yeah, that's a commitment for a short cruise like that. And so we're going to try to do, once again, like I said, while we're on the Prima, first week of September, we're going to try to look at the next one at the future desk, do the same thing, use some cruise credits, get a good bargain. Probably somewhere in December or whatever, we try to do stuff around like our birthdays, and mine's in December. So, but I don't know. We're just going to try to have an idea. Like I said, when we go up to the counter, just kind of I'm going to look from the room there and say, hey, what do they got going around that time? And just, kind of see what we can get. But yeah, I would like to do that group. There's several out there right now, like I said, on some of the channels that we frequent regularly and stuff that I would really be interested in. We're going to try to plug some of those that are further away out.
You're right.
And you can also get a lot of really good discount airfares with several of the lines because they have that bulk airfare purchasing that they do. If you do have to fly, you can get really good pricing going through them. I would always suggest checking that before you book the airfare independently.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
oh, something else I
what
wanted to,
else?
we haven't we haven't talked about it, and I didn't send you any kind of photo or whatever for it for
That's
people
fine.
because I know like Trisha is going to do one. NCL, this is where I will give them their propers. They are by far, in my opinion, the best for solo cruisers. They cater to solo cruisers better than anybody I've seen. They have specific areas of the ships. They even have, you have to have, if you're not in a solo cabin, you can't access that part of the ship. They have their own private lounges with drinks and foods and stuff that are only for the solo cruisers. And that's really good. And back in the day when I was first starting, we had to have the mother-in-law cabin. And so always there's I'm gonna have 4 cabins worth of people. Which one's gonna have the mother-in-law? Because they were really few and far between to get solo cabins without having to pay a double for one person to go in an odd cabin. NCL has really stepped that up. They have
Yeah.
a solo cruiser program. So anybody that might be watching or listening or see this replay, look into it if you haven't, if you're a solo cruiser.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the one thing that draws me to NCL, because if my wife, for some reason, doesn't love cruising,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at Plum Crazy and Heather Lee to help change her mind, NCL might be my best window to be able to do some of the stuff because they do offer solo
Mm-hmm.
capabilities. Now, I
Yeah.
know I'm going to plan that a long ways out because they're limited, but who knows? I mean, I don't really care what ship or where it's going from. If I can get to it from where I live within a few hours flight time, although flights are getting incredibly expensive.
Right.
But Philadelphia is not that far from me. I could always go do that one to Bermuda. That would be okay.
Right. We're
You
going to
know,
be up
and one of the
there.
things that amazes me, and I want to throw this graphic up because you sent it to me,
Okay.
is
See which one.
how many ports around the U.S. that NCL frequents to help people get some cruising in. I mean, granted, there's nothing inland because there's no way to get one of those big ships inland, but they pretty much got the entire coastline covered.
Yeah. And we were real excited when they added Jacksonville because that's about just shy of 5 hours, but that's not enough of a drive to physically, be too taxing.
Right. And
And
that
so,
basically straight across I-10 from where you're at?
yeah, you just jump on 10 and go straight east and head straight to Jacksonville. And of course, New Orleans, and I love sailing out of New Orleans, and that's something else to talk about. A lot of people's like, oh, yeah, but you waste this time going down the river or two. And I'm like, waste the time. I love that part of it when you sail away in the afternoons from New Orleans and leave the city, and there's Jackson Square and the whole city, and you start down the Mississippi River. That time, because you always get to see the sunset
Yeah.
or their way down the river to the Gulf. I think it's great. I don't think it's a waste at all. I think it's a feature. And New Orleans is, I'm downtown on Canal Street just under 3 hours from where I'm at.
Okay.
You call it 3 if you want, but I could be in the parking garage in 3 hours, park the car. And so
Yeah.
we always go a day or two ahead because I'm real familiar with New Orleans. Anybody goes to New Orleans out of our usual suspects, if we ever manage to get a group cruise that would leave from there and people want to show up before or after, I will show you the city because I know that city well and I love it. But so
That is one that my wife and I might consider if she's interested in that, because
Mhm.
she actually has family that lives there.
Oh wow.
So it would
Okay.
be kind of cool to go
Yeah.
down a little early and spend a couple of days with them. And who knows
Yeah.
if
Let's go.
if the husband's not actually working, because he works one of the rigs, last I heard,
Ah,
and he's gone for a month and he's home for a month.
right. Yeah.
So if we happen to hit a month when he's available, it would be kind of cool to double up with them and maybe do it together.
Yeah, that'd be great. And they for your solo thing, and I hope that she really enjoys it and loves it like Michelle does, and you guys start doing that stuff together when you can. But
Yeah.
All the newer ships, and they're even going back and retroing some of the older ships with those solo areas. With that, like I said, is you have to have. If you're not standing there, you can't get in there.
Well, and NCL seems to be one of the few that are actually wanting that solo traveler demographic on
Absolutely.
their ships.
Yeah, they're working.
Virgin has some solo cabins as well. I it's probably not more than 10 or 12 of their total count, but it is available there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, NCL's got solo in there. They're literally solo priced. It's not a 1.5 times because only one person
Nope.
fits in these places.
Yeah, nope. And you can. There's lots of videos online where you can go and look into the solo cruising where people show their cabins on the NCL ships and that lounge area that I was talking about and how the card control access works for the solo cruisers. It's
Right.
amazing to me. I mean, of course, the rooms are not big, but they don't need to be. It's
No.
just one person, and but they're really well appointed on the ones I've seen on the newer ships. I think they're great. Yeah, nobody else is competing actively as hard as they are for that solo cruiser. You're dead right.
Well, I really I like NCL as a product overall. I am a little concerned with all the chit chat that's going on about what's going on with the board and everything, and their stock prices are
Right. Yeah.
fluctuating greatly in some ways, some good, some not so good. I do think that corporate is trying to stabilize all of that. It's my hope that whatever they're doing corporately doesn't affect what goes on the ships.
Well, all that stuff started up and got in full swing with when they replaced the head guy and they started making these budgetary. We're going to adjust
Right.
that before we even went on the escape. And I was actively looking to see if I noticed anything different in the product.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything. So I think that's all inside moves so far. Now there's not saying that there won't be some changes. And some things obviously, just like on every line, have changed dramatically from when I first started cruising 20 years ago to now. And some things not for the better on any of the lines as far as I'm concerned either. But it's so competitive now and it's such a bigger business than it was then. But yeah, I haven't seen any direct effects from it yet, and I will. If I do, I'll let you know too after this upcoming cruise. And here.
Well, and if you don't mind, let's plan for you to come back on when you get back. Let's talk about that cruise because Prima's a gorgeous ship from the outside. I'd like to know more about the inside.
Right, and I'm going to try to do, especially while we're leaving PC after I get done shaking my flags and circle waving with I'm going to try to do a quick live there and maybe from the ship because I will have the Wi-Fi, and certainly going to take some good stills and some short videos and stuff to post on my channel.
While you're in port, you might actually still get a good cell service too.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure for a while there when we're first leaving out it will be, but so I'm going to try to do that. Yeah, absolutely, we'll definitely revisit it, and then I'll make a note of that if I notice anything that's changed because of maybe these policy changes. But I don't think that would be a good bit for us to see it on our end. I think they're trying to do all that in internal cuts and reworks. But
right.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And like I said, I'm not 100% brand loyal. Like I said, I've been on multiple lines. They all have their things. I have one that I've done that I used them twice, and I won't use them again. I'm not going to say who it was. But, there's enough of that going on out there already for different lines.
Right.
But outside of that one, it's like I said, it's not brand loyal. It's know what you want and then find the appropriate ship and time to do it. And then you won't be disappointed. But if you go mid-season in the summer and you get on one of these mega ships that has the full array of all the stuff for the kids or whatever, and you're not into having kids around, then you made a bad decision. And, when I had nieces and nephews that were traveling with it, we utilized those services and I appreciate and used them. Now we specifically travel. I mean, it's not an accident that we're going that Labor Day, we're selling out on Prima on Sunday. Monday is Labor Day.
Okay.
That's not an accident because school will be back in session.
Yes.
For the majority of the country, if not all, maybe a select few still, not like back when we were kids, we got out and had both the holidays off. Summers were longer then. But anyway, that's not a mistake, and nor will it be for the one around my birthday. It won't be on Christmas, and it won't be probably on New Year's. Maybe New Year's, but not Christmas, because
Yeah.
we try to avoid those pockets of when the family travel is, just so that we, because that's not our thing. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
mhm.
For whatever time we're on seashore, I will probably make use of the adults only area, at least somewhat, especially since the biggest area is that aft pool that you see when they're going out.
Mhm.
That'd be kind of cool to get some shots from there as we're leaving port. So, you know,
I would
um,
I would throw that in too, though. That on the NCL ships, the newer ships especially, they do have. If you want to spend a little bit extra money, there again, it's not a nickel and dime, because I would say if you get a good room and you get your free at sea plus package, you could still afford to add this too and still be around the price point of some of these other lines
yeah,
and have this extra. But they do have an adult only area that has the cabanas and separate hot
yeah, the Haven.
You're right. Well, not the Haven. The Haven is a whole different
Oh,
animal.
is that? Oh,
Yeah,
Haven's a ship
the
within a
Haven's
ship.
a whole different animal. Haven's
Okay.
is like above suites. I mean, you're talking about concierge and butler service and a whole separate
I
section.
don't need all that.
Right, me either. But they have another section, and I'm having a senior moment, and the name has escaped me, and that's the section that I'm doing on the private island. But they have it on the ship, and I don't remember what it cost for per person per week. There again, it's based on how long the sailing is, but it is some special snacks, separate adults only area for people who pay, even as an adult, only for people who pay for this amenity. And
Yeah.
there's lots of things that come with it. I've not felt, and the reason I haven't done it is because on their ships, I haven't felt the need, because of me being picky about how we book, to have to pay that extra money to. We've always found comfortable places or lounge or be outside or whatever without feeling crowded or anything. So we've not felt the need to do that.
Yeah.
I did it on the private island because we wanted to make sure when we were there that day, and I got so cheap anyway, but we wanted to make sure that day that we had a nice, comfortable place to relax and just have it, because we don't have to be regularly entertained on these Caribbean cruises with beaches, because we live in Florida. We go to the beach
Right.
2 week on average, at least a couple of days a week. So we wanted to be able to relax that day and have a nice place to sit that was adults only, be peaceful and quiet. Great price, like I said. And so, but I haven't felt the need on the ships, but it is there for somebody that might want to do that. And where they can be absolutely certain, then you've got guaranteed seating and all the extra things that come along with that. It's not that much money, like I said. And there is one particular brand that you're really enjoy, and I'm not even going to talk about them, because I can get everything that NCL has to offer, including that adults only area and
Yeah.
and still not touch that fare.
I'm sure.
They're just more expensive, and when Michelle's done them, I have not been on that line. You know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
But there again, it's about the research. I'm not saying it's overpriced, because you're paying for that product. You're paying for that experience. What that comes with their entertainment and the characters and everything that goes along with that. But for people that's why I said the a la carte choice is the best model. You can pick what you want to make you happy for your trip and not spend the extra money.
Yeah. And that's at the point where you get on the ship, don't feel the need to spend another dime, and you still have a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I would say, like I said, with their base fares against what are the genuine competitors in
Yeah.
that line, that area, their base fares are normally cheaper, and for the overall experience, I would say you're not going to beat it. Like I said, I like Royal Caribbean, like Princess. I think the pricing is always pretty close. It's pretty similar.
Yeah.
And we'll say this too for people who are Alaska cruise people. I think NCL and Princess are the two that dominate that market, in my opinion.
Well, and aren't they the two cruise lines that will almost always get you into Glacier Bay?
I think so. I haven't looked into it a lot.
From what I understand, to get into Glacier Bay, they have to have a permit because that's part of the national park.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the National Park Service does not want a full flotilla of ships coming in there. So they limit how many ships can go in there every day
Right.
and how long they can stay.
Right.
And that all has to be arranged before you get there. And speaking of Heather Lee,
Yeah, and I feel so terrible.
hello there.
I can't really see the chat list. So anybody that has said something to me or whatever, I appreciate it. I haven't been able, this is the first time I've done that, and as a guest, I really can't see while I'm doing this. I can't
Yeah.
really chat, but I hope everybody's enjoyed it and that showed up has enjoyed it and found it not
I
too.
may have some hints for you when we're done here. We can talk about
Okay.
what your needs might be, and maybe I can
Right.
help you get pointed in the right direction
Okay, good. I
on some of
appreciate it.
this, because a lot of my setup has been piecemealed together.
Mhm.
I'm actually running off of a remanufactured mini PC,
Mm-hmm.
but I got myself a couple of the larger um, screens, monitors, so I could. On the old monitor I had here, I couldn't hardly read the chat when it would come up.
Right.
I had to always highlight it to be able to read it on the screen.
Well,
Now
when
I
I'm
can read it without having to squint.
on the day to day, when I'm like watching you or watching all these people that are in the
Yeah,
chat, other, I use my phone basically just as my chat device,
right.
and I'm watching it on my large screen television through my
Yep,
Apple
me
TV.
too.
So I can see everything in great. That's 65 inch. I can see everything in great detail. But for this, and I'm sitting here with two iPads, one to my left, one to my right. One to my right has the photos that I sent you. The one
Yeah,
on my left has your broadcast running. There's a little delay there, and of course there's the chat bar, but it's not. I'd have to do this,
right. To be able to
and
read it.
then I'm not paying attention to you guys and trying to stay in to be able to read it. So, but I'll get it sorted. Like I said, I've done one little quick live out from the beach that was like a minute and a half that wasn't pre,
Yeah.
and now this. So I'm just getting started in doing it after having the channel for a long time. But I want to start getting into it. People have encouraged me to do that, and I think it could be fun. No
Well,
pressure.
one of the things we all do, those of us that have crossed paths in more than one stream, is we support one another. We try to help each other wherever we can. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but JC finally got a new video out yesterday. It's really, or maybe it might have been Thursday. Really nicely done. He gives you a tour of the spa on one of the Royal Caribbean ships,
Cool.
and it was so relaxing. I almost fell asleep just because of the music he had in the background. I mean, I was feeling it. So it was really good to see him back in the saddle. They've had some issues in the family, but he's back at it. So my
Yeah.
support for him will not wane. We all of us pretty much show up on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Mondays
Sure. Yeah.
to watch the cruise ships leave.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of times even when I'm watching Chase, I'll have Miami up on something else because there's ships down there we like to watch go to. So a lot of us cross paths, and of course Malibu's in with everybody pretty much.
Right. Right.
But I appreciate people like Heather Lee and Malibu and Jetty and everybody else that comes in and supports us. So yeah, I hope you have great success getting your channel put together and moving forward.
Do you have that very last photo that I sent you that kind of shows the three different panels combined? That shows that pricing chart and then the free C plus and the unlimited open bar at the bottom. Throw that up there just so that during the replay, even for people that miss it, they can pause it. If they're here now, they can screenshot it.
There you go.
Or on the replay, they can see it. It was the very last one out of the row of the photos that I sent you that has like the three panels combined. They can screenshot that, and it gives them a really good look at.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't put all the pictures in here.
Oh, okay.
This is the closest thing I put to that, but this is a really good comparison. I'm glad you pointed this one out.
Right, sure. I mean that right there alone really shows it highlights what. The last panel had that graphic, and then the the Free at Sea Plus that showed the price per day add on to the base. And so, not to add confusion to anybody, so like I said, they have the base $60 per person for the 7 day, and we went over what that entails. And then if you want the alcohol, you go to the Free at Sea package, which is that on that graphics, the $28.50. And then if you add that on top of that, so it would be the $49.99 for the Free at Sea Plus the $28.50. But like I said, even those two combined is very, very narrowly over the cheapest of those three just for the drink package. And you get all that stuff. It's just the value is just, and then you see, so even at the Free at Sea for the $28.50, it's on the graphic you got now versus the Free at Sea Plus, you can see even more of the upgrades, but it doesn't show on those panels. Like I said, when you do Free at Sea Plus, that covers your prepaid gratuities as well, which is a major thing. You know, that's $20 a person a day on average right now.
Right.
So that right off the top of that price, you're already back down into the $50 a day, and then you're getting unlimited high speed, your unlimited top shelf bar stuff, the coffee package, the energy drinks, juice packages, free bottled water, the premium meals and additional premium meals at 50. It's nobody touches that. There's not another package like that out there on any of the regular lines.
Right.
There's just not. And like I said, it's not me trying to be an NCL guy, but it's just the truth.
Well, I think we've covered quite a bit. If anybody has any questions or anything, Mark, is there a way they can get in touch with you?
Sure. Just go over to my channel, Mark's Music Obsession, and a lot of these generous people have subbed. Like I said, I'm not trying to do anything with it, but go over to my channel and just put it in the community tabs. Put a post in the community tab, or just comment it on this, comment it on here, or any one of my videos, and I'll try to pay attention to it and answer back.
Yeah,
for sure.
Chris and Chris, welcome in, bud. It's good to see you. Thanks for dropping by.
Great. Yeah. Well, I hope it was good. And for sure. Shout out any questions, whatever, get to us, however you can get to us. And if I can answer them, I'm sure happy to do so. I want people to have fun and enjoy it like we do. And our current is we're going to try to do 2 to 3 a year, probably 3. I like to have that about 4-month window and enjoy the countdown. We're 30 odd days away from Prima right now, and I couldn't be more excited. So
cool. Yeah, that's great. So,
okay.
There are a lot of new people that popped in here today, and I didn't get a chance to say hello to everybody. I tried to make sure everybody got up on the screen for a few seconds. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. If you could please hit the like and subscribe. I am trying to grow this channel, and I'm not really worrying too much about the numbers, but it's nice to see some new people come along every now and then.
Sure.
So,
like I said, everybody that came over, that tried to support and put the word out for this today, I really appreciate it. I just hadn't been able to look at the chat. Yep. I know some of you are out there. Like you just said, Chris, more to see. We know Trisha obviously was here. Lee, I think I saw in one of the brief times I've been over. Lee was in here, and some others. I appreciate it, guys, helping us out and showing up for it. That's great. I really appreciate it.
And next week, folks, you're going to probably, if you're going on the cruise with us in November, you might want to stop by, because I have Taylor from This Happy Place joining me to talk about her experience on Seashore just shortly before she went in the dry dock. But I'm going to ask her some questions about some of the little things we might not think to ask before we get on a cruise ship. But I've already learned that there are some things about this particular ship we might want to know before we get there to help, number one, our embarkation be a little easier, and then our time on board as well to be more enjoyable. So I hope you'll join us next Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on YouTube and Facebook. And Mark, thank you again for joining me, bud. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it so much. And I'll be posting some content. I hope when I get to this level, I can invite you over and some of these other people that are in here to do these kind of things. I think it's fun, and I think that's what we should all be trying to do, is just have fun with it.
You let me know, brother. I'll be there.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right. Hang out for a few minutes. We're going to close this out, and then you and I can chat for a little bit.
Okay.
All right, friends. Thanks a lot for dropping by. We'll see you next week.
Hey, hey, come on in. We're here